Welcome to part 2. If you didn't watch the other video, well, we can update you real fast. Now you're all updated, this video is going to go over how we can make a market depth chart similar to the one on the left, and how we can make a higher time frame chart like this one right here. Hope you enjoy. So now we can go to chart, duplicate chart, and we can move on to our next one, which will be a market depth order flow chart. For me, I would like to change this to price change per bar. You could use a volume per bar or something similar. I just like to use price change because it gives me the cleanest look. And now we're here. You can see our studies have switched over with us because we just duplicated it. So we're slowly getting to what we want to look like. Now we want to arrange our charts how we like it. You can go right click the bottom here, restore, move this to the left side. This is already, I guess, restored. And now we have everything looking good and we're getting closer. We can go to chart, remove the title bar by clicking show title bar. That'll just clean it up a little bit. We have our intraday chart here now. We can just scoot this over, make this bigger. Perfect. So to make this look more like a book map style chart, there are some simple things we can change. First, I'm going to remove the clock for this one, and I'm going to look for A. I'm gonna scroll down until I see average price per bar. Put that on, then go to settings, change this to a line. Going to make it gray. We got our gray line, and if you want to, you can go to chart settings, and you could just completely remove it, leaving just a line. But I like to go to price volume bars, and then go to global settings, graphic settings, scroll down to bar high, low down, just make this gray. Make this gray, and we'll change that line I put on a second ago, just lighter gray. I really am just focused on the structure, so that's what we need. Now we have this looking closer to what we want. You are going to make sure you have the right data package, so I use 11 integrated advanced, which gives me market depth data. So if you're using the trial, I don't believe you'll have access to the market depth. I could be wrong, but in any case, you want to make sure you go to global settings. We'll see our chart server settings at the bottom right, and then make sure support downloading historical market depth data is on yes. This will take a couple seconds, but you just want to make sure you go to edit and delete and download all data. So make sure you get the historical graph going. So we go to analysis, studies, type M, and look for market depth historical graph. Want to add that, and while everything's loading, just let it all load together. Once it's done loading, you want to go to edit and reload and recalculate. So we're getting closer. So you might be thinking, this is kind of messy, what's going on? Well, there are some things we can do to fix that. Just go to market depth historical graph and the value type for lowest quantity. You can leave it on actual value, but percentage is pretty good. Change it to about 35, 30. And if you are going to do actual value for ES, I would say 300 is not bad, but we'll do percentage that. And the colors they have are okay. They're usable, so we can just avoid changing those for the moment. But when we scroll back, oh no, the profile we had over here, it's kind of messing up. You can go in here and go to the volume profile, change the maximum volume width to about 5, and that will do that for us. And now we have our profile, we have our market depth. Now we need our volume. So most people use the large volume trade indicator, which is okay, but I want to see what delta, because Bookmap, they use delta for the bubbles, they don't use volume. And I see it as it's a little more reliable for me. So the volume at price threshold alert V2 is what I like to use. Hit apply, and oh my god, look at that. It's messy, but we just have to change a couple things. So to get delta, we want to have ask volume, bid volume difference. Change that. Percentage threshold about 30, and your volume threshold 300 is pretty good. 200, we'll leave it at 200 for now. Go to your subgraph, change the trigger 0. Once you change the top one, it'll change all of them. Change this to transparent circle, make it green. Choose a nice green color. There we go. And you can change the transparency level down here on the bottom right. So we have this, and if you wanted, you could have the alerts draw extension lines, and it draws the extension line from the alert. So if we retest it, it could be useful, but I would not use that for now. And we just want to go in here and duplicate this, make this -200 subgraph, make this red, and we're going to make these a little bigger just to get that look we want. Some other settings you will want to change if you're using these is draw study underneath main price graph, and you can change the size by just moving this up and down. This is what I like to use, but if you do want to use the large volume trade indicator, you just have to add it. It'll take a second. You could leave the colors if you want, but we're going to change the volume threshold to 30. We're going to make it a automatic indicator size. So some things you'll want to change after you get all that is automatic indicator size, marker style, make it a circle, transparent draw style, yes, and that gives us this. You can change these to red, change the colors, and these are useful. Depends on how you want to use it. I personally enjoy my threshold alert more instead of this, just because I feel like I would rather have the delta instead of large volume. You could use both, you know, it's up to you. But that's our market depth chart. That's really all you need for this. The last thing we want to use is a higher time frame chart. So to do a higher time frame chart, it's really easy because we already kind of set it up. You just want to go here, duplicate chart. We can make this as big as possible. Analysis, studies, and we can just remove anything that's not going to be useful for higher time frame analysis. All right, hit apply, and we want to make sure it's a higher time frame chart, so we need to change our data limiting. We can just say about 60 days, we'll say 360 days. 1 year. Go on to our period, change this from whatever you want. We'll do a 4-hour chart, 240. Let that load, and while that's loading, we can go to our study settings. You can have the current day if you want, but we kind of want a composite profile, so we will want to change it from 1 period start time to end time to 1 period at end of fixed time length. Change that. Our length should be from day to 1 year. Going to do the same thing as the other one, so change that. And for this, we can always use the right click, and if you change it to range and make sure that's turned off, you can change that. Constant range, and there we go. That's our composite profile. But now if you want to make drawings and everything, you might be asking, how do you do that? Well, if we do an extending rectangle here, it's kind of, it's kind of ugly. So we want to go here, right click the drawing, chart drawing properties. For low volume nodes, I like to just make it a gray box. All right, you can go to TC1, change that, low volume node, hit save. So now when you ever draw a extending rectangle, they'll come out like that. And say you want to make one for buyers and sellers, like a buy box, you can easily do the same just by doing this. I like to have a middle line and just have it as buy box. What are you going to say? Same for selling, sell box, TC3. Oh, I deleted. So now you can't really change it from here, but we can go into the drawing settings and change some stuff. One more thing I would recommend would be to make a dedicated volume profile for the tool that we're going to be using. So just go add a volume by price, change the width percentage to 15 or whatever you want. Scroll down to highlight value area, yes. Bid volume as volume coloring method, none. Go to subgraphs, value area and outline. We can change this to say purple, and now go back. We can draw BP volume profile, save single, and now we can remove it. Go up here to the top, configure our button, change our TC1 to the draw volume profile, draw BP, save, hit apply, and now when we draw a volume profile, it'll be the one that we chose. And you can always change it. Say you want it a little bit bigger, we can do that. Say you want it above the chart, you just have to choose that. So reasonably 30 might be better, something like that. But that's how you do that. One thing we can do now to finish everything up and make it yours is our control bar. Go on here and just remove everything that we have on here, because we can always add it back on. All right, now it's clear. Some things you might want, I would recommend, are save all button, add a blank, close this. You will probably want a lock fill space unless you want to move it around. Use evening/full session to see when we have gaps, ups and downs. Scroll down a little more and you can hit add another blank, hide chart drawings, hide drawings from other charts. Go to the very bottom and you can hit scroll charts to the end, and you can go in here, you can change whatever you want with these, the colors and everything. So that's what we have at the moment. I like to use the same size for all, and you can go in here and change all these colors. For the moment, we'll just keep moving on. So we have this. It's nice because if you just want to scroll, or if you want to see the full session or the regular session, it's cool stuff. After this, we can add our tools. So go a little lower, go to tools. You probably want to add a pointer tool. Try to add blanks just to clear it up. Pointer tool, horizontal line tool, extending rectangle, and your volume profile tool. One I would recommend, add another blank, and also go a risk reward tool. So the last thing I would recommend changing is when you right click, there's a lot of stuff here, you don't really need it. So go to global settings, chart shortcut menu, remove everything that you won't really use, type T a couple times so you get down here, and we can add what we want. So add a separator. There's some things you can't remove, which is kind of annoying, but it's okay. We'll probably want a pointer. We will probably want our extending line, not extending line, our horizontal line, our extending rectangle, a regular rectangle if you would like, our reward risk, our volume profile, where's that at? Draw volume profile. So now we can right click and we have our menu. And you can see this is not how we want it. So we have to go back in here and go to chart drawing menu. And now remove everything in here. Add a couple configs, add a separator, add a move drawing, adjust drawing, copy move drawing, color. We can put that at the top. Modify text, put that under the separator. And now when we right click, you can choose whatever you want. Your cell box, little volume node. Very useful. All right, some more settings we can change to make it a little more personal is just go in here. Of course, you can change the chart background, but if you scroll down to chart tab background color, you can make it whatever. We'll just make it black. Scroll down a little more and we can get to our control bars. Default background color, we can make this gray. Control bar background, we can make this black. So there are some more things I would recommend changing just real fast. Go to global settings, tool settings, change your after single use to a pointer. Make sure all your chart settings have the right drawing, so 1, 2, 3. So if you draw one drawing on here, it shows up on all your other charts. Going on to here and changing your display to 10 for the order flow chart. Same for footprint, it just makes it look cleaner. So if you last this long, here's one last tip for you guys. If you go in here, we have to save this as chartbook 1, and if we go global, general settings, open files on startup, add our chartbook 1, remove this one. That'll make it so when you open the platform, it immediately opens your charts you want, not the ones you don't want. But that's really everything. I hope this video was useful. If you guys have any recommendations, if you guys want me to show you how to set up a footprint or anything, I'd be happy to. But I'm gonna call it here. Hope you guys have a great day. Leave that like and comment, your choice, up to you. But yeah, have a great day.